topic. So I'll ask anyone. If you don't know the answer, I'm okay with that. But just try to say something related with the chapter number, right? So that we can move further. Okay. First one, Dhara, can you hear me? Yes, Dhara. See, if you can't unmute yourself, just write it in the chat. Okay. If we'll go one by one, it will, I think, wastage of time. So, okay. Those who know the topic which we had covered in the previous week, or you can say in the last week, right? So they can write the topic names over here so that I can understand. Yes. Okay. Function, inline function. Very good, Arfat. Other than this, the types of function, yes, we have four types, major two types, inbuilt function as well as the user defined function, right? Those who know the answer, they can write it in the chat, okay? Yes. So we have a major two types. This is inbuilt function and user defined function. Then we can move further and we will see that we have a major four types of user defined function, right? I think you all are aware with that. So no need to discuss those many stuff. Okay, before that, we had gone through the call by value and call by reference, right? So in which function our original value will remain same after function call? Give me the answer. In which function type my original value not be changed in call by value or reference? Okay, one is said call by value. Okay, other than Ashish, my original value of my function will remain same. Yes, very good. So call by value, and in the call by reference you can say that my original value will be changed. Why? Because we are directly dealing with the address, right? And when we are directly dealing with that address, it will something like you can directly change the original value of function. There is no any copy of that original value. Okay, and in the call by value we have duplicated copy. So if we want to change, we can directly change in the duplicated value, not in the original value. Okay, now, okay, yes. Now what is inline function? Or you can say the use of inline function. Okay, yes. Okay, replace code before running. Okay, to reduce the cost of calls. Very good. To reduce the cost of calls. So you can say that overhead, which will be happening using that function. And what is overhead? So you can say the overhead is something like you can say the time which is required for jumping from function call to that function, then stored it into the stack and then jump back to that function, right? So this is things you can see the overhead. So we can reduce that function overhead using the inline function. Alternative to macros, yes. Function that have small lines of code, yes. So we are okay. In which situation we cannot use that inline function? Okay, if I want to use that function in the recursive, I cannot use. I cannot use inline function in the loops. If we have large number of codes. Oh, okay, you can say the maximum more than 2 to 3 lines in my function at that time. I cannot assign as an inline. Okay, and yes, one more thing. Inline function is not a command to compiler, but this is the request to compiler. That if you want to make my function as inline, then you can, because my function will contain you can set 1 to 2 number of lines, so you can make it as inline, so it will run faster and the overhead may reduce. Okay, very good. So now Inline function, same like that. We have one more functionality in C++, that is default argument with the function. Okay. Now default argument with the function, that means difference between command to compiler and request to compiler. Okay, when I give command to my compiler, that means they have to follow. Okay, they must need to follow. But if I'll write inline, that means I'm requesting that compiler, right? In line with my function name, it is interpreted as I am requesting to you compiler that if you want to make my function inline, then you can. Otherwise, if you don't want to make my function inline, then run it like a simple function. If I'll write inline add and your parameters over here, right? I'm not forcing my compiler, right? So inline integer add. I'm just requesting my compiler that if you want to return, if you want a plus b, something like this. Okay. So in that case, I'm not, you can say that forcing my compiler that you have to make this function as inline, right? It based on your compiler that if it will something like one or two line in my compiler, in my function, at that time, compiler can make my function inline. But some of the times developer do some types of mistakes, something like if I have so many lines in my function, as well as I am assuming that my function should be run with the inline. Okay, at that time compiler will not do this thing, right? Why? Because I'm requesting compiler, it will not allow me to do the function as inline. Why? Because this function has more lines. Okay, so this is a command and request. Okay, Yograj, am I clear with this? Command means compiler have to follow, and request, that means if compiler wants to follow, it may. Okay. Now same like that, we have one more facility in C++ with the function, that is default argument, right? Now what is default argument? So first of all, I think you all are clear with that. What is argument? So if I write integer a comma integer b, right? So a and b are my argument of function integer add. Okay. Now what it will do? Okay. So and yes, and in the integer main, what I'll write, I can write z equals to add 3 comma, or you can say x comma y, and x and y should be entered by user. So C in x and y, right? Something like this. Okay. So at that time, what I'm doing, I'm just passing two values, which will copy in my A and B. Okay. But if sometimes I missed it, okay, or you can say sometimes I want to pass something like this, 3, right? So 3 will be passed in A. What about B, right? So it will give me some facility, something like you can say default argument, right? Default argument means you can give the default value to your argument, right? How and what we will go through over here, right? Function without specifying all its arguments, right? So over here, what I'm doing, instead of two argument A and B, I'm just passing the three only, right? So one argument I don't want to pass, or I want to call something like this. So in that case, what will be the output of B, right? So over here, we can go through with these things. Okay. In such cases, function assign a default value to the parameter, which does not have a matching arguments in the function code, right? While at the time of function calling, what I am doing, I'm just passing a one argument instead of two, right? So what about this b's value, right? So in that case, if I want to give some default value in my function, I can give it, okay, using this default argument. So this is the default value for my b parameter or for my b argument. Okay. Now if I give 4 over here, then how it will work? Okay, we will see over here. If we pass more than parameter, it is syntax error or not. I'm not giving more than one parameter. I'm just, you can say the question is related with inline or related with this default argument. Just let me complete first, then I'll go through with your questions, okay? Okay. So default values are specified when function is declared. Okay. The compiler looks at prototype to see how many argument a function uses and alerts the program for possible default values. Okay. Right. Now, so what I'll do. First of all, why we use default arguments? Okay, so default arguments is something like when I want to call my function with less number of arguments. So instead of 2 arguments, if I want to give only 1 argument, then what will be the other one, right? In that case, we can use this default argument concept. If I have this is something like add 3 comma 4. Okay. So what will be the output of first function call and what will be the output of second function call? Okay. So now if I'm not using any default value over here, right? So what it will do, 3 will be passed over here and 4 will be passed over here. So it will give me the answer something like 7. But what about this? In this case, I am just passing the value of A. This is 3, right? Now what about B? So if we want to give something like this, then this is the default value of my B, right? Now, if my B's value is default, that means if I will not pass any argument in D, or you can say if I want to miss, or if I'm missing some argument in at the time of my function call, it will directly replace this value over here. Right. So instead of this value, it will imagine that my B value is 0. So over here, 3 plus 0. So it will give me the output like 3. Okay. When I'm using default arguments. Okay. Now, over here, in the default argument, I am passing 3 comma 4. At that time, what will be the output? I am giving b equals to 0 over here. Still, I want to pass that 2 argument. How it will run? So, a will be replaced with 3 and b is already having the value 0. But over here, I am passing the value 4. So, this 0 is replaced with 4, right? This 0 is replaced with 4, though I am giving default argument. But default argument works when I don't have a equal number of arguments in the time of function calling, right? So over here b will be replaced with 0, but over here my b will replace with 4 only. Why? Because I am passing the value. Okay, yes, I will give you one example. What if we want to make A as default? Yes, I'll go through with all the concept. You cannot make A as default without making B default. Just wait. We'll go through with all your questions. Okay. First, let me give the small example. Okay. So up till now, is there any doubt in this example? I'm continuing with this example. Is there any doubt in this example? Yes, say yes or no over here. What is the work of default arguments? Yes, is there anyone who's still having any doubt? Okay, how can you make this in default argument? If we want to make A, if we want to make B, if we want to C, D, E, F, how can I will explain? Don't worry. Okay, no, till now there is no any doubt. Okay. So one more example over here, right? So over here, I am passing 3 values over here. Float, principal, integer, duration, float, rate equals to 0.15. Right, here I am just giving the default argument to my third parameter, that is float rate equals to 0.15. Okay, so same like over here, I will just take that small example. Over here, right? I'll write this question over there. Okay, so how it will work, we can easily understand. Okay, so same like this, I have float amount. In that I have P, that is principal, D, that is duration, and that is rate. And here I am giving the default value, that if I will miss some value, then you can take this as a default value. Okay, now, and in at the time of, you can say, function call, at the time of function call. Okay, I'll explain a whole example with the whole program. Okay, in the DOC, just wait. First of all, we'll check the all the concept of default argument, how can you give and what will be the output, right? Afterwards I'll explain the whole example. Okay, so B equals to amount with P, B, and R value, right? First of all, I need to give the P value. So I'm giving the 500.0, comma, integer value for B. So for that B, I'll assign 5. And R, if I want to give that R value, then you can. And if you don't want, right now, I'm not passing that value over here. So missing R, right over here. What will be the output? We will discuss. Over here 500.0 comma 5, and I want to pass that R value 0.12. Okay, no missing value. Okay. Now what will be the output and what is the actual, you can say, the function call, or how your default argument will work. First of all, over here what I'm passing 500.0. Okay, so your assignment will start from, you can say, this 500 to this P, right? So left 500.0 replaced with this P. Now this 5 will be replaced over here, right? So the D value equals to 5. But now I don't have any R value over here. Now what will be the output? Your compiler will check that is there any default value is assigned in the you can say function declaration. Yes, I have that value. So over here it will definitely, or you can say it will directly assuming that my R value is 0.15. Okay, so over here it will assume, or you can say take R equals to 0.15. Okay, in this function call. But at the time of this, what will be the output? Okay, so first of all, starting from left, my 500.0 replaced with this P. So my P value equals to 500.0. My D value equals to 5. And yes, over here, I have the value of R, that is 0.12. But still, I am declaring as a default value 0.15. Now, what is the work of compiler? Compiler will change that 0.15 with 0.12. Right, so instead of this, what will be the output? You can say the R value equals to 0.12, right? If I will miss something over here, at that time your default value will be replaced with your not defined value. But if I am defining some value, at that time your default value will be replaced with this. Okay, so in the second example, is there any doubt?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, while passing a parameter, if I will not assign a R value, like if I will keep only float R, and if I am going to call the first function that is missing
Hmm.
R, so what will be the output in that case?
Here I'm not giving, you can say, the default argument. So what will be the output? Just
Yes,
get the
ma'am.
output. Yes, just First you guess the output, what will be the error, or you can say the compile time error, or some notices it will give you, or it will successful run the your program. What will be the output? Just guess, I will give you the answer. If I have one function with a,
If ma'am, if it is not default argument, then I think it should give a error.
yes, very good. What it will give you, something like missing parameter. Over here you are assigning float, but you are missing something over here. Yes. So this concept is same like
Yes,
your
ma'am.
C, same like your C, right? So in that C, if you are passing something like integer add a plus b, and you missed that b to pass at the time of calling, then what will be the output? This is basic thing, okay? Okay. Yes. Still, if you want, I'll show you that example over here, right? But before we'll complete, you can say after completion of this default, I'll explain your example also. Okay, Sunny? Right. So over here, now, in case of this, if you want to assign 500.0 over here, and you don't want to pass any argument after that p, what will be the output and what will be the case? Okay, so over here you don't want to pass that 500.0 over here, you just want to pass that d value equals to 5 and r value equals to 0.12. What will be the case? Okay, so over here only the trailing argument can have default values, so we must add defaults from right to left, right? We need to give the output, or you can say we need to give the default arguments from right to left. Why? We cannot provide a default value to a particular argument in the first or middle positions. Okay, why we need to do something like this? Because starting from the left, I can assign the value from left to right, right? Okay, yes, am I right? Yes or no? What I'm trying to say is
Yes,
yes.
ma'am.
Okay. So the thing is something like, if I miss the first default argument, if I miss the first argument, then your default this 5 will be replaced over here. Okay, so this is the wrong thing in the default argument. So if you want to give the default argument to your function, then you need to start with the right to left. Okay, if you want to pass. Okay, so say for example over here we have first case, that is integer multiplication, integer I, integer j equals to 5, integer k equals to 10, right? So as they were mentioned over here, that from right to left you need to assign the value in the default arguments. Okay, so from right to left, yes, I am passing that 10 and 5 from right to left. Okay, if I'll not pass ing at the time of calling process, we need to provide that ing. Okay, now in the second case, if integer I equals to 5 and integer j equals to no any default value, this is illegal. Okay, this is not allowed to pass. Why? Because this is the default value and you need to pass from right to left. And in this case also, you cannot give the value from first left hand side and right hand side, and middle one parameter is blank. Okay, and over here this is legal. Why? Because I am passing the value in every function, or sorry, in every argument. Okay, here is the one example. Okay, we'll discuss this example in the DUC. Okay, so you can assume that what will be the actual output. Okay, so the question is, okay, I'll explain you that why you if you want to pass the value in the middle, when what will be the case. Okay, default argument. Okay, so hash include iostream using namespace spanner. Okay, now what I am doing over here, first I'll write integer sum. This is my sum function, and in that I am passing integer x comma integer y comma integer z comma, integer a. Okay. And before we move further, what I'm doing, I'm just assigning the value from right to left. So a equals to 0. Right now my a value is equals to 0. And in that function, what it will do, it will return the x plus y plus z plus a at the time of calling. Okay, and what is the function call? Okay, so will provide you the sum of value. Okay, what will be the output? Okay, so here I am calling that function with every argument. Sum with first value of x is 1, comma 2, value of y, z value is 3, and a value is 4. Right now I'm passing every you can say the sorry, every arguments in my function. Okay, now in the second case, missing last parameter. Okay, so what I will do over here, while at the time of calling, what I'm doing, I'm passing the value of x, I'm passing the value of y, and passing the value of z also. I don't want to pass the value of my a variable. Right now, what will be the output? We'll see over here. Okay, and return 0. Okay, so sorry. Hmm. So the first function, the answer is, you can say 10, right? So y x equals to 1, y equals to 2, z equals to 3, and a equals to 4, right? So my, if I'm passing some value over here at the time of calling, then your default argument will replace with your actual argument. Okay, now, in the second case, what I am doing, I am not declaring any, you can say the value, or I'm not going to pass any value to my a variable, right? So in that case, what it will do, it will pass the value a equals to 0 over here. Okay, so if I'll write instead of 0, if I'll write 10 over here, so what will be the output? You can say at the time of running process, my first function call will remain as it is. Yes, and at the second function call, at the time of second function call, what it will do, it will pass, or you can say it will assuming the a value is equals to 10 over here, right? So your first function call, you can say it will something like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, right? And at the, you can say second function call, what it will give you the output. So you can say 1 plus 2 plus 3. But if I'm not giving any value over here, what it will do, it will give me that 10 over here. Okay, yes. So till now, is there any doubt in the default argument? Is there any doubt? Yes or no?
Can
Okay,
you
so
explain again, ma'am?
yes, sorry. Yes, I can't hear you.
Ma'am, can you explain again?
Uh, what type of things you want to study? First function call or second function call? Vikas,
Second.
second function call. Yes, this is the concept of default argument, you can say. So here I am just passing the three values instead of this four argument, right? So how it will work, that my x, y and z value will be replaced with my actual value, that is 1, 2 and 3, and the missing parameter, that is value of a, right? I am not passing any value of a. So what it will do, compiler will check that is there any default arguments is present in the function. Yes, I have. So what it will do, it will assume that a value is equals to 10 if I am not passing anything over here, right? Now if I'll write equals to 2, okay, what I'm doing, sorry, 1, okay. Now what it will do, okay, in both the functions, first function call and the second function call, I'm passing the value of z every time. So here the z value is 3 and here the z value is 3. Now what will be the output? Okay, now what will be the output? No any change. Why? Because if I am passing the actual value from my function call, it will not replace this value with 1. Okay, if I will miss something, then and then it will check those many things in your program. Okay, now okay, so if we want to pass something like, you can say float, 1.7, 1.7. Why? Because my function will return integer value, right? That's why it will not work properly. But if I will pass something like integer x equals to 10 and I'm not passing this value, it will give me the error, something like this. What will be the error? This default argument missing for parameter 2, 3 and 4, right? So if you want to give the first parameter as a default parameter argument, then you must have to give this 2 value. But if you want to give that default value to your right hand side parameter, it will allow you. Yes, as we were seeing earlier. Okay, so that's why we can say that in the at the time of calling process, it will replace from left to right. Okay, and over here, if it will miss some value for the a, at that time they cannot find the value. Okay, so it will be the, and your Sunny's question. Sunny, yes, Sunny. Hello, Sunny. Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Here is your question and your answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Check the error.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm missing the one value over here.
Got it, ma'am.
Okay, too few arguments. So that means you have to pass equal argument, or if you want to, or if you don't want to pass some one argument in your question, at that time you can assign it as a default argument. Okay, in which case you can use it. Okay, so say for example you want to generate a result for students. Okay, so in that case what you need to do, say for example this is my subject 1, subject 2, subject 3 and subject 4, right? So what it will do, out of 100, 4 students got 123 out of 100, 45, and you can say the 73 in the third subject. But he missed the fourth subject examination. So in that case, what it will do, if I not pass any value, it will give me the error, right? So at the time of that function, you can pass it with the 0, right? So it will take the default value that subject 4 is equals to 0. Okay, so you can implement this in your you can say project also, in your project if you want to to go with that system, right? So at that time you can use this x is equals to, you can say the subject 1 marks, this is your subject 2 marks, and this is your subject 3 marks, and this is subject 4 marks, right? So what it will do, it is something like, you can say, the result purpose thing. So some student missed one subject examination. At that time, you can generate the result using few arguments. Okay, so this is the, you can say, one of the use of your default arguments, right? So till now, is there any question in the default argument? Okay, Iba, what about you? Vikas, David, is there any question? Okay, David, no doubt. Okay, Iba, we have so many students. So instead of asking one by one, I'm just asking to everyone. I think there is no any question, right? So we'll move further. Okay, so like this, you can use that default argument concept in your project also. Okay, so before we'll move further, one announcement for you. As I think that message is already passed through your, you can say, telegram, still I'm just informing you that today's ODP subject lab, that is, I guess, C batch, okay, it was shifted to Thursday, same timing, 1:30 to 3:30, right? So today ODP lab is cancelled, and instead of this day, we will going to conduct that lab on Thursday, this week Thursday, 1:30 to 3:30 for same batch. Okay, so this is only for this week only. Okay, so will not follow this timetable in the next week. Okay, this is only for this week. So today's lab of ODP subject, only for one subject, is cancelled, and it will shift it to Thursday, same timing, same batch, same subject. Okay, okay. Now, same like that default argument, we have function overloading, one new concept. You can say provided to you by C++. Okay. Now, you can say instead of this default argument, right? So you want to pass that all the function parameters at the time of calling, you can do that. Okay, but if you use that function overloading concept, and why we use function overloading, what is function overloading? Okay, so say for example, simple example for the function overload. Okay, so new concept which is not available in the C, but we have in our C++ related with the function. First, that is inline function. Second concept, that is default argument, which is related with your function. And now we have third concept, that is function overloading, provided by your object oriented programming language. Okay, so we have three concepts. We will use this many concept in our class and object program. Okay, so at that time we'll use this many concept using this function. Okay, and at which time you can use, I am just giving you the small example of that default argument, small example of inline, right? So if you want to implement this, that concept in your project, you can implement it. Okay, yes. So what is function overloading? Okay, before we'll move further with the function overloading, the simple thing, if I have integer add one function with integer a comma integer b in the one program, right? It will return you the a plus b. Okay, now in the same program, I have one more add function with integer x comma integer y. It will not allow me to do these things in C. In C, I cannot do these things. Okay. Yes. But if I have float over here, dot x integer y. Okay, still it will not allow. But if I am implementing this many stuff in object-oriented programming, it will allow you to do this many things. So what I am doing? So it is something like the function name, or you can say the same function you can use more than one time. Same function you can use more than one time, but make sure the parameters of that function should not be matched with each other, right? So this is the concept of function overloading. Okay, how can we use, what is the use, why we implement this function, we will see over here, right? So the function overloading is a feature in C++ where two or more functions can have the same name but the different parameters. Okay, this is the concept, you can say the polymorphism, right? So the your polymorphism refers to one name having many forms, okay, different behaviors. one name one name with different forms, right? So that argument should be different with the each other, right? So this is the concept of function overloading. Okay, yes. So before we'll move further, just we are taking the overview of function overloading, right? Now, what is the use of this function, why we implement, how to implement, we'll discuss in next session. But the overview of this function is something you can say you can use a same function name more than one time, but the behavior of that function is different with each other, right? Your you can say behavior in terms of the parameters which is available in your that function should not be matched with each other. So if I will write integer over here, this is not allowed to you, okay? But if I'll write float over here, it will allow you. Why is it so? We will discuss in the next session. Okay, so the concept of function overloading is something like, you can say the concept which is referred with the polymorphism, right? So one name having different forms. So same like that example, that one human being can play the role of different you can say the personality. In the school, one person can be defined as a student, right? In the bus or travels, it will define as a traveler. In the playground, it is defined as a sportsman. Okay, so the one person, the form is different, okay, or personality should be different for one person. Okay, so over here same like this, one name with the different behavior. Okay, so till now, is there any doubt? Just name, are you clear with that name? What is function overloading? Yes or no? Clear with that name? Okay, yes, clear. Okay, good. Now write down your enrollment number, class name and stream name, right? Okay, and concentrate over here. Yes, as I have mentioned in the Google form as well as in the, you can say, your class group which is available in the Telegram, that you must have to give me the project definition before that 31st. Okay, so only 35 to 40 students are there. They submitted me already submitted the definition to me, right? Other than that students, no one has submitted me the definition of mini project, or you can say the title of mini project, right? So today is the last date. It is directly going to be same like your assignment, right? I'm not giving you the assignment. Instead of that, we are just following the mini project concept. Okay, so you must have to give me the title of your project, otherwise I'll not give you the marks. And after today, I'll not allow you to submit me the title of project. See, if you have any doubt, you can discuss with me, as we have you can say already discussed in our previous week lab. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can discuss.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes,
Hello, ma'am.
yes, Tilaun, just say.
Can we use file?
Sorry,
Can we use file on our project? Can we use file on project or
you need to
file
submit.
part? Like,
You need to submit me the title of your project.
yeah, I know, ma'am, but can we use file?
Can we? Can you
File,
write? Can you write?
last thing.
Can you write it in the chat so that I can understand
Okay.
what you want to say? Just write it over here in the chat. Okay, so the students, those who are remaining, still remaining with that process, just do it today itself. Otherwise, I'll not allow you. It will give you the internal marks. Okay, this mini project is directly give you the you can say the internal marks, right? So for that, you must have to decide the definition first or title first.
Ma'am,
Yes, if you want to use, you can fill on. Yes, just wait, Dara. If you want to use that file concept, you can use. Tell which page we have to pull the lab manual. Lab manual. I filled the form, but I want to change the title. So can I write through Telegram? No, Hari. So you cannot change that many things. Yes, I can't understand what you are saying, Rani Mali. This is there is no any lab manual in our ODP. Okay, yes, Ashish, thank you so much. Yes, Dara, you can say. Yes, you can submit me via Google Form. Google Form is available in your institute mail ID. Running. Yes, I have sent it to you. If you can't find, then just let me know.
ma'am,
Yes,
IT
Dara.
33.
Just wait. IT 33. Okay, Dara. Okay. So, is there any other than this? Is there any question related with your
Ma'am,
project? Yes, Harisu.
the title what I chose was very broad, so I want to change it.
So, why you want to change your definition?
It's very broad, ma'am.
It's really
Very broad. I want to be specific.
okay. So once our this project, sorry, this process is completed, I will. You can say, I'll inform you that if you want to change, but make sure that if everyone is completed with that process and 2 to 3 students want to change, then we'll discuss it in the lab why you want to change and what is the problem. Okay, then if your answer is valid or reason is valid, I will allow you, otherwise I will not allow you. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so today is the last date to submit the project definition. I forgot the name, but he or she sent me one mail related with that project. I have already replied to your mail that the confusion they are facing in the problem title. So just go through that mail, and if you have still any doubt, then just let discuss with me in the lab session. Okay. Ma'am, for Syrian IT student, our class is TT1. Yes. Yes, Naam Hassan. You are right. If you can't find the class name, just you can say check your login portal. Which I think your class name should be there in there with your information. Student portal. Okay. If you are still in doubt, but IT Syrian student, this is TT1, and IT the students is TD2. Okay, I think now most of the students had already submitted me the attendance over here. Okay, thank you. Okay, so just write that small concept name or overview in your notepad or in your book. So at the time of revision or at the time of completion of that chapter, you can just go through that concept. And if you have any doubt or at the time of your programming concept, you can do that many things. Okay, yes. Is there anyone who wants to say?
It's me, ma'am.
Tushar? Yes.
Ma'am, I write my enrollment number here.
Hmm. Yes, you had already written the IT 022 TD2. Yes, so is there any question, confusion?
No, no, ma'am. It's okay that I have written or I need to tell you. That's
No.
okay, ma'am.
Okay, now I guess no one is remaining with this process, okay? Okay, Tushar, what you had covered in today's lecture? Yes, Tushar, which topic I had explained you? Just unmute yourself. Yes, Tushar.
Ma'am, I'm listening, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes. Just say the answer. Which topic I have explained you in this session? I want just me. So you are not alive in my session? Yes. Can I assume this?
I'm listening, ma'am. It's function overloading.
Function overloading. Okay. Before that function overloading, we had already completed one topic. After inline and before function overloading.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Which concept? The name of that concept is? I think you were not present at that time. Yes.
No,
It's
no,
something
ma'am.
like this.
I was not present that time. That's why, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay, Tusha, no problem. Just go through this video and just completely go through with that topic. And if you have doubt, you can ask me in the lab session, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Or in the next session.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so thank you, class.